Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Runeskill and Chill, or should I call it Runeskill and Slay? We are joined by the amazing Mod Sponge. Hi, Mod Sponge. How you doing?
Hello, hello. I would like to say that rune kill and chill is probably more applicable here.
Ah, Runeskill and Chill. Well, okay, I'll leave it to you, chat. Runeskill and Slay, or Runes. What was it? Runekill and
Rune kill and chill,
Runekill
yeah.
and Chill. Well, we'll see. We'll let the chat decide. Nice strong opener. Very good. Um, but yes, welcome everyone on this interesting day, let's say. But we won't go into that because we are talking about very fun things. We are going to be going over the Slayer update with the amazing Mod Sponge, who is currently in World 71. So if you do want to come join us, he is in the Scarab Cabin. So
I think that's the name. The
yes,
name changed so many times that it's the Scabarite place. We're in there.
we're in where the Scarabrites are.
We're,
Wow, that's a tongue
correct.
twister. Where all the Scarabrites? Where Mod Sponge is currently being overwhelmed by all the Scarab bites. There we go. But yes, anyway, as you can see from what we can see already, this is one of the newest places of Gielinor, where we do have some incredible new landmass. We've got some awesome new monsters to slay. What can you tell us about this, Mod Sponge?
What do you want to know? Really, it's the new Slayer spot
Mhm.
for the level 87 Scabarites. I don't know what that guy over there is doing. That's interesting.
He's
Um,
just having a little
He's
chill.
bugging out. He's bugging out, isn't he? I don't know what he's doing. Quite literally.
He just
Yeah, it's
hates that
the
boulder. He just hates that
yeah,
boulder,
right.
man.
What's he doing? Uh, Distracted. Anyways, we'll see what's going on with him later.
It's a full
Yeah,
headbang. Yeah.
it's the level 87 Slayer area for the new Scabarite monsters. They dropped the new component for the Necromancy Slayer helm.
Nice.
Um, yeah, that's kind of all there is to it. It's a nice, clean, simple update, really.
It is. It is. How big is the cavern? So what can we see? I know that a few of you have already been to the Scarab Cavern already. You've had a good explore. I wonder how many of you have actually got to the new Slayer Helm. So that'll be interesting. How was the process to getting there? Did they just drop it, or what is the process to get in the new Necromancy
Yeah,
Helm?
so as long as you got the slay level to fight them, you can kind of come and just get it.
Mhm.
They are able to drop it off task, but they have an increased chance if you've got a Scabarite Slayer task, whether that's specifically these guys, Profanites, or one of the old kind of Scabarite almost cluster task things that you can get from Simona.
Mm.
Um, yeah,
Nice, 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 nice. It is good. I've been wanting to. I was super excited to come try this out until I saw the the requirements to get into the cave, and unfortunately, I'm still not there yet. But we will get there. We will get there. I'm in my 70s, so I'm getting close to the 80s, and I'm trying to. If anyone has been following my journey through this leveling journey, I am leveling each one of them up to the nearest 10 until I go to the rest of them, which is annoying me. But it's fine. We'll get there. We'll get there. So where else? Where I know that you're just in one spot at the moment, Mod Sponge. But how big is the cavern? What else is there to see
so
here?
there is so there's like 5 spots you can get them in. It's kind of 4.5, 5. This spot you can see this person over here on
Oh
is
yeah, I
originally
can see a
designed as
few
two
people.
spots. Yeah, it was originally designed as 2 spots, but it's kind of joined into one big spot where you can kind of pull these guys on the sides.
Mm.
Um, but right now it's also instanced to 4 people. I really don't know what they're doing today. I don't know if I've got a cache error that's going wrong with their idol or what, but I'll look into that. That's hilarious. They're all,
Oh no.
all just attacking the air.
Well, they're just as
Excellent.
someone said in the chat earlier, they're just proper headbanging away. So whatever
And
music
they
they've
are
got on their
angry,
heads,
aren't they?
they're angry. They're angry at the world. I wonder why. But we'll see. We'll see. What else have we got? So I know that there's no quest for anyone who is still trying to get to this spot? Is there any quest to get in, or are you able to just walk in with the requirements of the levels?
No, yeah,
you have?
you can literally just walk in, as long as you have the requirements. Just traverse through the desert a bit. Yeah, it's
Nice,
kind of no matter what, you can get in it.
nice,
Let me just
nice.
put French down mute before people start spamming me with stuff. There you go. Someone's already asking questions.
So we do have. I know that we did put out a Reddit post. I put out a Reddit post yesterday to gather some questions. I know a lot of people had some questions about the Slayer update, and they had some combat related questions. And my God, you all had a lot of questions, which took some time. Did it not, Miss Mod Sponge? I think you managed to get through quite a few of them. I think. Well, we'll try to get through them. I think is the main thing. So, I know that you've put a list of some questions. Thank you so much for getting some of them prepared. Should we go over some of the Slayer update questions?
I mean, yeah, go for any. I was kind of just going through so that I could think about them before the stream, because I tend to get tongue-tied and forget what I want to talk about.
Fine.
So just
Fine.
pick any from anywhere, Reddit, whatever. I'm happy
Yeah,
to
no
answer any of
worries.
them.
Okay, so I suppose one of them. So why Scarabites? For the Profane Scarabites, what inspired the deviation from the current Scarabite models, or should we expect their models to be updated?
Right, so we're gonna try something here where I'm gonna try and not die in the background whilst I pull my other screen
Well, this is the
over.
real test, isn't it?
Yeah, hopefully you can see this now. Cool.
I mean, if you
Right.
want, you can
So,
come out of the cave, come out of the cavern, and we can go through
if I
this. So
die, I die. I'm wearing Crypt Bloom of Animate Dead. The chances of death are slim to none. It's fine. So originally they weren't going to be Scabarites. We were going to
Scabarite.
kind of go
Thank you, Joshua.
Scabarite.
Not Scabarite.
The amount of times that
Try saying that really
in
fast. See
development,
how you feel.
the
Not fun.
amount of times people would call them Scarab bites, because that's what you'd expect, right? Because they're scarab looking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see
Scabarite.
that. I can see that. Scarabites.
Yeah, originally it was going to be Devoured Strike Worm, reusing, like, you can see this is like the Wildy Worm model, I think,
Right.
or Lava Strike Worm, kind of up textured with some of the Devourer effects. This is done by the lovely Mod Fox. This was kind of very early in exploration as to what we wanted to do here. But we essentially moved away from this just for one, the graphic fidelity isn't good, as you can kind of see the issues here. It's such an old model.
Well, people are asking this.
They're
People
trying.
are asking for a pet of this already. So
Oh, tell me about it.
win.
Yeah, like a freezy skin with this, banging, I'm in.
Oh, there you go.
But what we'd want to do if and when we do a Devoured Strike Worm is kind of like up-res them all, and that immediately takes this project from being small to kind of massive, because then suddenly you're having to redo all of the Strike Worm anims for all of them. Essentially, the Strike Worms from this kind of generation were made using a different art tech to what we use now. So it's kind of a pain to go back and paint over compared to our modern Maya models. So we moved away from this purely on what's the time frame it would take for us to actually do this project.
Right.
And going for a Devoured Strike Worm just extends that massively. But I'm hoping we can pull out these bad boys in the future where we get a chance to maybe redo the existing ones, make them less annoying to fight. Obviously, I can't see chat, but hopefully they're into that. I think it'd be very cool to do some Strike Wormy goodness.
Yeah. We've got some happy people in there already. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Flick back. Am I dead? Have I got any drops?
Oh yeah, double check. You're still alive. You're still alive. That's good. That's good.
Let's just re-put up. We good. And yeah.
Oh yeah. Is there any loot? Is there any loot that you're trying to get?
There's nothing. I just want the Ashabti field for my player and Slayer dungeon log, and I want the helm obviously for log progress. And that way I don't have to buy one. So that'd be nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's go back to here. So this exploration is by Mod Back. So obviously we can see what is closer to the original Scabarites here. We were using these goofy guys in development for the longest time as
Oh
placeholders.
wow.
But with them, these guys have so many different models. They have like mages, rangers, meleeers. I think they have priests. They have guys riding locusts.
They look awesome.
They look very cool. And we didn't want to have to commit to updating a bunch of old models that we're not going to use necessarily right now.
Right.
Especially the goofy ones like the Locust Riders. So we went and explored what a more primitive Scabarite could look like.
Uh-huh.
Scabarite lore gets a bit weird because there's not much known. And in fact, Scabarite isn't necessarily their species. It's their religion.
Oh,
It just
interesting bit
means
of lore
they're a
there.
follower of Scabar. It means they're a follower of Scabarus. So both of these guys are and can be Scabarites.
So were they
Obviously these
originally
ones,
humanoids that were transformed into Scarabites?
I think they were all originally still bug people.
Right.
I
Okay.
think it's just the followers of Scabarus are called Scabarites.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So these guys, maybe they have a different species name compared to these ones. Maybe we should call these ones Scarab bites because they're more scarabs, just to really confuse everyone. Um,
Uh-huh.
but essentially, yeah, we want to when it comes to these guys, do them justice and kind of do the whole set. And again, for this Slayer update, we wanted something small and snappy that we could just get out to the players. Like players have been asking for Necro Slayer Helm component for however long. We don't want to be like, yeah, but you're going to have to wait another 3 months so that we can go and update this old janky quest that no one's really playing right now.
Mm.
So we went, I think, with a more interesting route, adding more personality to the desert.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that both of these can exist, which is really cool. You can see Modback's lovely notes that this guy, after physio, he's got a bit of a straighter back.
After physio. Nice.
There is some interesting implications you could probably make that maybe these guys are the same species, and that something has happened, but we'll let players get into that.
Yeah.
I won't explain exactly.
Interesting bit
And
of
then
lore there. Yeah, nice. I like that.
let's check again. Anything? Nada. I'll take the wood spirits and the notes.
Nice.
And
Oh,
then you can see
speeding up.
the orthos by Modback. Really nice.
This is awesome. Look at this. This is awesome.
Yeah, so that's the Scabarites and kind of why we went for them. Add some. I think it's nice to add some more different stuff than just only redoing existing bits, and kind of expanding the Scabarites as like as a religion.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see more of these guys in the future. That could be cool. I'd love to think that we're going to go and add these guys in future content at some point and do them justice.
Yeah.
That'd be great. But yeah, that is why we did Scabarites.
That's awesome. That's really, really awesome. So I suppose we'll go into another question. I'm just going through chat, just trying to see if there's any other questions in there. Just
Yeah, I
to
mean, if
sort
there's
of
anything
overtake them
stand out, just yell it
in
out. I'm
chat.
happy to answer anything.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, hello to chat if you are joining us. We are in Vol 71. We're in the Scarabite Cavern. Got there. And yeah, we're going to go through a couple more questions in terms of the Slayer update. Another Slayer question that we had is, as of the update yesterday, or a day before yesterday, greater demon berserkers have now seen an even further reduction in Slayer XP. Why has this been adjusted again? And can this be revisited? They aren't exactly easy to kill at lower levels, so I do not agree that it warps the lower level training.
Yeah. I mean, happy to answer that. It was kind of a it's more of a design question as to what do we want, what is the identity of Slayer and what do we want Slayer to be about. And it's not really something we want players kind of only doing a singular task and getting extraordinary amounts of XP. Like we want to manage XP expectations and kind of keep them decent, but not insane. And when you end up stacking a load of buffs, they can get a bit crazy.
Yep.
But whether or not they can be revisited, absolutely.
Good.
There is some changes in the future we'd want to do with Slayer XP in general.
Right.
Because I think there's a lot of NAF tasks that you don't want to do. For clarity, the Slayer XP calculations are still really funky. They're using the pre-necro combat calculations. So I'd love to go clean those up and add like, here's XP modifiers for anything that's annoying to fight or requires extra effort.
Right.
And kind of just give them a boost across the board,
Mm.
with demons being one of them. I think on this question, I saw them suggesting that instead of nerfing the XP, that they could have a Slayer rec. I agree with that, absolutely. I
Awesome.
think in general, wieldy Slayer and Slayer wildcards can be a bit of a problem, because you can kind of more the Slayer cards in this example, you were able to bypass the restriction on the demons, which was each kill is worth 8 on a kill count on a Slayer count, which is why they had such high XP. But I'm kind of babbling. But yes,
I need to go
essentially,
through my Slayer cards because I have so many in my bank that I have no idea how to use them. I just have them I just take them all out when I do a Slayer task. And then I just put them in my inventory and I'm just like, we'll just hope for the best that one of them worked.
what you got, yeah.
Because like I keep getting them either through rewards or through a quest or something. I'll get them in a box or something, and I'm like, cool, more cards, and I'll just like take all of
More
them
cards.
with me, and I'll just hope for the best. Get some more XP, so it's great.
Essentially, part of the reason for the update was we wanted kind of parity between players running tasks and players using Slayer cards. We didn't want an extra advantage to the cards. But yeah, I think having a Slayer rec will kind of resolve that. In general, I'm not super keen on the Greater Demon Berserkers. I think they could use some work. Maybe have a unique drop. Kind of get changes across the board.
Yeah.
But something hopefully we will look to address in the future is kind of Slayer XP as a whole.
Right.
But I'm not gonna promise that right now, as there's nothing like committed to it right this second.
Yeah. So you're in. Remind me where you are right now in the world.
This is Anachronia.
Anachronia, right?
Just grabbing a Slayer task from Laniakea, so I can go back.
This is where you get the Scarabites.
Yep, there's 4. Let me jump in here so I don't get desert heated. There's 4 NPCs you can get tasks from. We can look at those in a second. So we got, here we go. We got Kurudel, Laniakea, Morvran, Simona. The wiki guys, I know they'd want this data, so I was like, let's just track it on the board.
For the wiki
so
ones.
Laniakea and Morvran have a weighting of 12 for these tasks. Kurudel's 10, Simona's 15. All of them, I think, I'll double check this after the stream. I think all of them you can get between 80 and 120.
Okay.
But then I also have drop rates, which we'll look at in a second. Whilst I go set back up.
Is that hidden? Nicely hidden.
There we go. Look, they've stopped being so angry. I think maybe I had a cache issue.
Yeah, maybe.
Weird.
That was strange.
If anyone else has experienced that, can you please drop me a message on Twitter, Discord, whatever? Because I would like to find out if that was a cache issue or whether the anims are a bit balked.
That was a bit interesting, wasn't it? Also, you're being judged for not completing Crocodile Tears, by the way.
But like, I don't want to have to go and get Menethos prep, please.
But you must. What's fun?
I think I might have done Crocodile Tears on this account.
Well, if you have, then you shouldn't.
Now I'm gonna get judged because there's quests from 2006 here I haven't done, right? But like, I don't want to do Enlightened Journey. I've done most quests, or on like my Iron Man, I've probably done I'd say all of them, but
Nice.
yeah,
Is
it
this on
looks
your
like I've
Iron
done
Man? Are
crocodile
you on your
tears.
Iron Man
No,
at the moment?
this is my main. This is my main.
Oh, okay.
I paused my normal Iron Man because of group Iron Man. I was like, I don't want to have to kind of do the same thing twice in a row immediately.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
But I've been playing a lot of group Iron Man. It's kind of refreshed my love, especially for the early game.
Nice.
Right, cool. I'm set up.
That's
Yeah.
good.
What was I on about? What was I on about?
Yeah. Potentially drop rates, or did you want one more question
Drop
before we
rates.
go into drop rates?
Do me a question, but at the same time, we're going to say to chat, even though I can't see it, what they think the drop rates are for off task, on task, and you can ignore this one.
And this is a quick fun one. How much tea or coffee was consumed when developing the Profane Scabarites, the Spectral Lens, and during QA?
I don't think it was actually a coffee intensive project. It was actually quite a nice, clean project, which you can kind of tell because I managed to do like a few extra bits. Like there's a thievable chest that I was able to just kind of add as nice environmental stuff. There's a hidden thing that people haven't found, but I won't say anything else on that.
There's an Easter egg inside, and no one's found it. There you go. Watch everyone just run to the cavern.
On average, I drink a lot more coffee than probably a normal person, so I'm going to say a lot of coffee was.
If you have the shakes, then
I'm so far past it that I no longer get the shakes, which I think goes to say something. But yeah, a lot of coffee.
Fair. Right, drop rates. We've got 1 in 512 on task. There's a few of them. We've got 1 in 10.
A few of those. 1 in 10. Nice.
1 in 10. 1 in 2048 off task. 1 in 2K off task, and 1 in 512 on task. We've got 1 on task, 1 to 1,200 on task, and 1 to 3,000 off task. Are people close? Or how is the numbers so far on this?
People are on task, bang on the money. 1 in 512.
1 in 512.
1 in 512. I think this matches the original Strike Worm ones. Obviously, I think if we were making Strike Worms nowadays, the drop rate probably would have been a bit lower because you decimate them so quickly. But with the Scabarites kind of having more health than mobs kind of in recent years has had, was pretty happy with the 1 in 512. I think when you work it out, you'll probably get one if you just spam through task in like an hour and a half, depending on how many you can kill per hour, obviously. But I reckon you can kill between 300 and 500 an hour, depending on your stats. And off task, 1 in 4096, so 8 times. 8 times, yeah. So definitely worth going for on task on these ones. Partially because they're actually all right XP. They're all right money. We don't kind of want off taskers that are grinding for XP and money, pulling in too many of the helms. But yeah, and then the last box is tier 3 luck works. So you get times 0.99 on drop rates.
Oh, nice.
Which I think is 1 in 506. Someone in chat can do the math.
Quick math.
I'm not going to attempt this one. It's going to be like 1 in 4084 or something.
Right.
That is the drop rates for those.
Wow.
What we got.
Awesome. Oh, I saw something shining. Did you get something?
Nah, it was Dragon Dart tips, I believe. Nothing crazy. It's a nice fletching XP, but this guy didn't get involved.
I guess this has been. Well, should we do? Well, let me just see the other questions for. This was about the Demon Berserkers, so we went over that one. Can you add congealed blood on the drop table for new Slayer monsters? It's a pain to gather on iron, or remove the carapace, and add blood even if it's only 1 per kill.
So I agree with what the player is saying in that they want more congealed blood or more access to it, but I don't know if bugs would. Do bugs have blood? I don't actually know. I don't think it's super fitting for these guys because Congealed Blood is more Mauritania.
Right.
However, I'm not going to promise I'm going to do it, but it is Game Jam next week.
Yes, it
And I'd like
is.
to look at Congealed Blood. I think it could be cool to make something like Blood Veils, 100% drop rate on them, so that you have a decent way of farming them that is consistent,
Mm.
and it gives some nice life to that as a task. I'm not going to promise it, but I'm going to say I want to look at it. And with me saying that it's Game Jam next week, tell chat to get their requests in now. Get them in early.
You heard it first. If you do want to pass on any feedback or ideas you have, reach out to Mod Sponge, Jagex Sponge on Twitter. Is it the same on Discord? Mod Sponge? Can they find you on Discord as well?
It's gonna be something like that. It's gonna be Jagex Sponge or Mod Sponge. I don't know off the top of my head.
One
I
of them
just
Sponge.
I just opened Discord. It's logged in, right?
Exactly. There are a few questions in here in the chat already. Let me just
Mhm.
go through some. We will get into the combat questions, so we will get into those. But I suppose it could be a good segue into talking about combat. I guess. Uh,
Mm.
Let us move across. You can't see any of these questions, can you?
I can't.
That's
I
fine.
can't see anything. I can't
That's
see
fine.
anything now. My internet's been playing up so bad. I didn't want
No,
to
you're
have too
good.
much open just through threat of me lagging out.
You see how I feel actually when I'm usually streaming. This is the usual setup. I've got about five different tabs open, just trying to manage each one of them at the same time. Uh, but we love it. We love it. Let's see. What else do we? What other questions do we have on here? We can go straight into the combat. How do you feel about going into some combat related questions
Yeah. I
now?
mean, drop anything, anywhere, and everywhere. I'm happy to answer anything.
Okay, we'll start from the top and we'll work our way down. So can attuned crystal chakrams be finally made augmentable? They were planned to be made augmentable 9 years ago.
Uh, that wasn't what I was expecting when we said
No,
combat.
that I
Yeah.
wasn't expected either, but it was in the combat list.
That
We can go to the next one if you
I
prefer.
no. I was just like expecting like really deep combat questions, and someone's just like
Yeah,
crystal
let's talk
chakrams,
about
please.
chakrams. Yeah.
Yeah, no, sure. I'm not going to promise it on a time frame. I'm pretty sure it was promised like 9 years ago. But I think it's probably like a 10-minute job over Game Jam I can do. I believe the original reason it didn't get done immediately was because waiting for an artist to put the gizmo thing on the chakram.
Mm.
But I'm kind of like, let's just bin that off. No one likes the gizmo-y thing, right? I'll just use the same model. That way we get it out nice and quick. And then if players really want the gizmo, we can add it later.
Fair.
But better to get it out, right? So
Um,
yeah, you'll finally get crystal chakrams at some point.
well, there you go.
The augmented ones or whatever.
There you
No
go.
problem.
After 9 years, you finally get them. One person has asked in chat, has asked me to ask you about the lore implications of the Scarabites, knowing how to summon familiars from the spirit plane.
Ooh, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
There
Thank you.
might be lore implications, but I think that's probably better delivered in quests or deep lore in game. I don't want to kind of just off the cuff it because I
Fair.
feel like that's something to explore. But it is interesting that they actively summon like
Yeah.
actual familiars. Something of note actually that I did want to do with this update was make it a familiar that you could summon because I think that'd be pretty cool. So I might look to do that at some point. Let you summon a spirit scarab that's not the holy scarab.
Oh.
So if chat has ideas for effects for that, again, chuck them in or chuck them at me on Twitter. Could be nice to do a poison familiar through those. That could be cool.
Awesome. Would you know anything about wood spirits at all?
A little. I'm not like super engrossed in them.
We can potentially go to which mod?
I feel like it. Mod Breezy would be
Mod
the
Breezy would
best,
be the best
but
person for this, yes.
ask the question. If I can answer it, I'll answer it, and if I can't, then I'll fob it off.
All right. On release of Wood Spirits, criticism similar to what Stone Spirits got was preemptively dismissed by saying Wood Spirits will only be obtainable through woodcutting. We now see them added to drop tables. What changed?
That is a good question. I wasn't aware of it originally being saying only woodcutting. I think that's kind of a mistake because to get a wood spirit only through woodcutting, you might as well just given them the log,
right?
Instead.
I'll add that to my notes.
I think they're better delivered through NPC drops personally, as long as you're not absolutely pouring them into the game. And it's not as feels bad when it's on a mob like this. I think part of the issue players had with Stone Spirits was you have something like Nex that was dropping. What was Nex's original drop for that Rune replaced? But essentially, Nex was dropping, I don't know, a few 100k worth of a drop, and that changed to Rune Stone Spirits, which was essentially worthless.
Right.
I think that was the key problem. Personally, again, I'm not super engrossed in wood spirits. I think it's more fine on something like this when it's more of a filler drop,
right?
And it's not being actively replacing a pre-existing drop that a table was balanced around. But it's probably worth getting Mod Breezy's opinion on that because he might have more clarity.
Okay, yeah. I've noted the question down, so I'll throw it across to him. We're getting this question coming in from Black Bolts, so I do want to answer it. I ask it just in case. I don't know what the abbreviations are, so apologies. I will read it out though. Any news on the request for time to do FSOA/EZK/Elite Tectonic Changes Sponge?
It's something we are going to do. We don't have a locked-in time frame, so I'm not going to say it's happening soon. As soon as we have news on it being cemented in any way, we'll let people know. But it's something we will do is for SOA passive, EZK changes, tectonic changes / passive. Will happen. I'm committing to saying it will happen. So it's Fractured Staff of Armadillo, which is tier 95 magic weapon.
Okay.
That's what I've got equipped right now. I've got a soul one.
Nice.
EZK is the Exec kill, which is the Zuck sword, which is tier 95 melee special attack weapon, which is kind of a bit naff because it never had a passive. So players chuck it in essence of finality, so they just use the special attack. I think it's pretty well considered that you got a cool tier 95 weapon, you want to see it, you want to use it. And I don't know how they worded it, but Elite Tectonic is the last one.
Yes.
And that is tier 92 magic armor, which again, it doesn't have an effect, whereas the ranged equivalent got given an effect with Vorkath.
Right.
And as a result, after some combat changes, players now mage in hybrid armor because the hybrid armor has an effect. So it inherently is better than the magic armor, even though they are using magic.
Right.
Which isn't super ideal. You kind of want people wearing hybrid armor to hybrid, and you want people wearing magic armor to do magic in because it makes sense, right? But yes, we want to do stuff with all of them. I'm going to go as far as say we will do stuff with all of them. I haven't got a time frame to give you because I don't know the time frame for it.
But it's coming.
Something will happen with them. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. That's cool. I'll go into some more of the list from our Reddit Q&A. Let's see. Is there any fix for the potion bug affecting melee necro? Boosted stats are bugged on melee and necro, while magic and range are fine and working as expected. It is just melee necro that abilities are broken when using potions.
So we consider the inverse, that it's magic and range that are broken. However, we want to do something for the type of player that wants this. I'm 90% sure that this player is a defense pure or a pure of some kind,
Mm.
and they want to potion boost to be able to use some of the attack abilities or some of the strength abilities. We like something we did with Necro, which is when you unlock an ability, you kind of get taught how to use it. You get a little tutorial for it.
Right.
And we'd like to do that in the future for other combat styles. Hence why melee got changed to this system when the melee system got rewritten. And eventually the other styles will hopefully move over to that as well.
Yeah.
But we appreciate some players like playing defense pures. So realistically, the fix in our eyes for that sort of thing is if there's an ability that unlocks at level 3 that they were potion boosting to before, we can just change that to level 1 so they can use it at level 1. That's to us is a better fix so that we don't have people potion boosting when we finally get to add nice tutorial pop-ups to the other combat styles properly, so that they're not using abilities before they've been taught how to use them.
Right.
Because combat in the game is quite confusing, especially at a low end, and we want to onboard players properly.
Yeah. Like me. I need to definitely be onboarded, especially on combat. Next one. Are there any plans to give the Sanctum weapons and other dead content weapons? I don't want to say that, but such as Seismics, Blightbounds, and Pursuals, their own invention component to act as an item sink, akin to Noxious components, completely propping up the price of Nox weapons for 8+ years. Are you comfortable with the BIS Magic Weapons being the price that they are now, cheaper than Pursuals, the same price as Seismics?
So, I can speak for myself here. I am personally not comfortable with them being as cheap as they are. I would like them to have a lot more value. We have been talking about potentially doing some invention stuff with stuff like the Sanctum weapons, maybe some other bits. Potentially something that I will explore in Game Jam. We spoke about how can we do it in a way that kind of avoids some of the pitfalls of invention so that you're not deleting tier 95s and not getting the perks you want. So it's something we're going to potentially explore. I'm not going to lock it in because it's more than likely I'll look into it in Game Jam, but nothing might come of it. But yeah, something like an item you get, you chuck a component from the weapons in it, and it forces a perk of a new type instead of you having to roll for it, so that it's less feels bad if you roll bad.
Right.
But yeah, I would like to increase the demand for the weapons, and I think I'd like to reduce the supply personally as well. But that's just my thoughts on that. Like personally, that's not the entire team's fault.
Fair. Sorry, I'm just watching what you're doing in game. Someone said that your task is over, so I'm like, what are you doing? What task?
Yeah, I kind of forgot that I was on task. Thank you. I'll go wait.
Yeah,
The rest of my
you've done the
points,
task.
and
Do you want to
then
refresh? Go and get some more.
yeah, let's go get some more.
Hi chat. We are in World
They're
71.
doing
If
it
you're just
again.
joining,
They're doing it again.
they're just you know what?
They're just bugging out.
They're bugs. That's what they do.
Truth. Yeah, I'll look into that. It was a pretty clean launch, to be honest. I was like, oh, there's been no real bugs, and now they're just running around attacking.
People have been telling us all this time the bugs are bugging out. We're like, yeah, they're bugs. Just not actually getting the hint they're actually bugging out. One question that someone had in chat. So Mod Ryan and Mod Sponge spoke about reworking combat specs. Zuxord. Oh no, we went over this one, didn't we? And
that's basically what we went over before.
Yes.
Yeah. Same question, different person by the sounds of it.
Different. Yes. Yeah. Perfect. Let me just quickly go through here before I move on to. Right.
I'm running out of points. We might end up having like a nightmare creatures task instead.
With the change of greater concentrated blast and greater sonic wave, we have a similar change for needle strike and dazing shot. Following off the above question, do you think we really need to keep abilities separated into dual wield and two-handed categories? Many abilities are very similar between dual wield and two-handed. with minor effects that are inconsequential outside the PvP, which nobody cares about.
Let me think on that for a sec. There was talks around when we did Magic as to why we didn't do ranged and melee, and I can't truly remember what they were. Melee is less likely because there's so many weapons that it would greatly affect the style. Whereas Magic, there was kind of not any real true difference between dual wield and two hand as it was. I think it's going to be a bit of a wishy-washy answer. I don't see us doing it for ranged or melee. I see us instead kind of separating them further and like, I don't know, making crossbows more interesting for dual wield or making bows more interesting for two hand, and likewise.
Right.
In the original combat beta, we spoke about some stuff like dual wield potentially hitting twice with abilities and melee hitting once, but still having access to the same abilities. I think we spoke about destroy. Like destroy could hit 8 times, but you could use it with a two-hand. It would hit times but twice as hard. So yeah, I see us doing more combat changes, but not necessarily splitting those styles so that they homogenize. Is that the right word?
This is, I think this is part of the same question. Well, I say part of the same question, but it's sort of, I think they went on a bit further. They said, for example, Smash is a two-hand ability that does between 100% to 120 melee damage and has a 10.10 second cooldown. Decimate is a dual wield ability that is very similar, being 110 to 130% melee damage and a 7.2 second cooldown. Outside of their PvP effects, the abilities seem very similar and could likely be merged to reduce bloat of ability books.
So I categorically agree with what they've said there, where something like Smash and I forget what the other one they said was Havoc. I think it was Decimate. Thank you. I always get what's the other one that goes with Havoc? I can't remember.
Well, I'm not sure. You tell us, chat.
anyways, I think I was thinking of Havoc because you use them with Nightmare Gloves, but again, different splitting hairs. I could definitely see those merging into. I see those merging into one ability where, depending on what you're wearing, it changes, just so that you have less random stuff on your action bar, just to make it feel a bit nicer.
Yeah.
And if you want the smash effect, you use it with a two-hand. Yes, I agree with that. That's something we are hoping to be able to do again, but we kind of need like a bit of a combat beta V2 where we can kind of do these more broad changes.
Yeah, for sure. Right, I'll keep going down. Can we get the ability to attach a blood shard to the Conjurer's Raising Amulet, bringing it on par with the 3 other amulets with similar stats?
Not necessarily blood shard. The original design for my Moonstone bits was there was upgrade paths, and we might look to do those in the future because for some reason I just like Moonstones. It felt like I made them as a game jam project, and then they were just everywhere.
They are everywhere.
Happened overnight.
They're great.
Yeah, it's like all of Sanctum Lore is just like Moonstones all the way down. It's likely we'll do some sort of upgrade path at some point, whether that's like alchemical moonstone that makes a better conjurer's amulet, or whether that is something else that I had planned. We'll kind of wait to see, but probably not the blood shard, just because I think we've got more interest in ways of exploring upgrades for it.
Fair. For whoever's I can't remember. I can't see where the question is. Someone was asking where the new Scarab Cabin is. It's in Alcored. It's in the desert. You have to, if you are following us, and check the RuneScape blog, which we released on Monday. It will tell you how to get there. But it is in the desert.
I can butt in to get there really quickly because I added it. You can go to the calendar this week only. And you can click it and you can teleport there.
There you go.
And you can save yourself some running time. And then obviously you can show them the world map and see where you are.
We're just making everyone just like do extra work when you just I need to start learning how to use the calendar more because like it's
To be fair, it's kind of like new stuff.
It
Really,
is, right? Yeah, like I definitely started using it
I always
more
forget it.
the last couple of months. I've been using it a lot more, but I just kept forgetting that is such an easy way to teleport to new things. So much better. Quick question, because I know this has come up a few times from a player in chat. Question to Sponge: any news on giving EZK the Halberd range?
I would rather make it interesting in different ways. I appreciate players see it as, oh, this is a quick fix, but I don't think it's interesting enough to make as much of an impact as we'd like. I would prefer to make EZK good by itself, and then we can do a tier 95 halberd that again can upgrade to tier 100 or whatever. That is designed for AoE, so maybe it has an AoE passive and AoE spec, rather than kind of muddy the waters in that reward space. I think it's quite often we're looking for reward spaces that players are looking for, and that is a quite nice, clear one that we can deliver on.
Cool. Another one, a different question about combat. Actually, this is a quite interesting one. Future plans to address the usage of food in combat. Most food is useless for higher end combat, especially as the adrenaline drain for solid food is so punishing. Further, the lack of variety in food makes it pointless to keep anything beyond few high healing solid food like sharks or sailfish, or non-solid food like jellyfish. Plans for quality of life updates like Holy Wrench on Tool Belt as well.
Okay,
I think
so
that's a separate one.
That
was the second
Holy
one.
Wrench,
Sorry, I just carried on.
Holy Wrench on Tool Belt. I'm kind of like maybe. I'd rather like Holy Wrench on my Blessed Flask or something. I think that's kind of cooler. Like you just jam the wrench, you jam the wrench in there.
Makes sense.
That way you kind of have to work for the free inventory space.
Right.
The first question was food.
Food related.
Oh,
yes,
there we go. Spectral Lens. We got it.
Well done.
I'll put that bad boy on in a minute. It's not something I have the answer to because there's so much kind of interwoven stuff. Like part of the reason you don't use food is because of adrenaline. Part of the reason you don't use food is because Soul Split just heals you for everything, or the Ghost heals you for everything, or the Blood Reaver heals you for everything. So there's no real reason to use food. On a previous game jam, I was looking at a cooking update where I tried to resolve some of that. So depending on what type of food it was, it had a different effect. So in game right now we have the jellyfish, which don't drain adrenaline. I was kind of looking at different food types and how they could do similar or different things. So like a piece of food that heals 4k, but that does drain adrenaline. Maybe normal food heals between 1 and 2k, and that doesn't drain adrenaline.
Right.
There's a lot of interwoven parts. I don't know what the plans are, if we'll do like 110 cooking at some point or what, but it seems like a good thing for that to pick up. It very much needs its own full project because it's something you want to get right, because like you can't just go nerf Soul Split because players use it every day, they love it, and that's a key part of like sustaining the game. Like where I am right now, why am I going to use food? I can just Soul Split the whole way. So there's a lot to think about and a lot to figure out.
Happened?
That was the Fort for Infantry Guardhouse perk. I Omni powered and insta killed it. Nice little upgrade. A chance to just blow them up.
Oh god, I need to get back into Fort for Infantry. I think I've got all of them built. All the houses are built. I just haven't got the tiers up. I think I've got like a few of them on 2, but I haven't got
you haven't got more than 3 yet.
No, I haven't got any on 3 yet, so I need to get into that. I've got my construction on 80, so I'm trying. The thing is, because
nice.
I'm trying to get to invention, and for ages, I thought that I needed construction for invention, so I was focusing on construction.
Gonna find Yuey outside the invention guild, just building it.
Literally just building huts around. I don't know what are you doing. I'm like, I'm inventing, just like hammering away at stuff. God,
rejected from the invention guild.
At least I've got to construction in 80, but no.
I mean, yeah.
There's some nice
perks in the fort, so it's probably worth doing anyways.
Yeah. I literally found that out like an hour ago, and I was like devastated. I was like, no, but it's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. It just means I've got one of my skills up to there, and then I can just enjoy Fall of Frenzy another time.
Nice, nice.
But cool. It is what it is. Right. Another question. We did the food one. Oh, I think someone actually had a question in chat. Oh, so I think damn it, I had it and then the chat went up and I can't now see it, which is annoying. Where did you go?
Just spam chat with your questions, get him out.
Yes. If you do have any game jam stuff, please do direct them to Mod Sponge and Jagex Sponge on Twitter. Will you do a post this Mod Sponge on your Twitter
As
so
in
players can reach out to you?
game, yeah, I'll do a game jam one. I'll probably do an AMA one as well. I'll probably do 2 posts. That way, any questions we don't get, if I can answer them,
Yeah.
I'll answer them on Twitter or something.
If you want, also, you can feel free to answer any on the Reddit as well. So I've sent you the link to the thread. So if there is any on there that we've missed today, hopefully you'll have a chance to answer them there too. I think there were some questions about Virago. It was something to do with Virago.
If it's someone asking about Virago pushback, please just like ban them. I don't want to get into that headache right now. I can't. It's too late in the day. Please no.
No changes to Virago, unfortunately. I think they're asking for reworks on Virago.
Oh, if they want Virago cleanup, that's more likely.
Oh yeah, this is what they're. Yeah, they're okay. Thank you,
clunkiness.
Mr. Dr. Brick. Mod Sponge and Mod Ryan last spoke about changing Virago. Any chance of getting it reworked? Also, when is Game Jam? Game Jam is it next week? Starting for 2 weeks?
Next week. I think it's a 2-weeker, yeah, as well.
Yeah.
So it's a long one. The Virago question, I will ask Mod Ryan. I'm not familiar with Virago, nowhere near to the extent he is. I know there's like quite a dedicated fan base to Virago. So it's something we'd probably want to do alongside those to make sure like they're happy with it. But I will ask Mod Ryan and see if he can give answers as to what's going on there.
Cool.
I imagine it's just a time thing. Maybe he'll do it for Game Jam. Who knows?
For someone asking what I'm going to be doing during Game Jam is I am focusing on getting our content events and seasonal events updated. Hopefully, if we can get someone to help me on this, we are going to get some nice changes to our community events because we are getting a lot more of our JMods involved. I'm getting a lot of them to come in and play with us, with all of you. So the more we have in game, some more nice changes will be coming as well.
More street waffles.
More street waffles, more transmogs, updated transmogs, some more NPCs, hopefully. So yeah, that will be the fingers crossed task that we'll have. So we'll have some nice stuff for Christmas. Right. Okay, let me go through the list again. Do you have any plans to simplify other combat styles by reducing the number of abilities and introducing basic attacks? It would be great to have a filler ability like Necro, as it's useful to cast while moving and figuring out a boss fight in real time. With the other styles, as a beginner, I'm always looking down at my cooldowns, trying to figure out what to cast next, instead of looking at what the boss is doing. That's a great question because I am also in that boat.
Yep. It's not a simple answer because we feel like yes, we categorically want basic attacks for the other styles. We especially playing on our group Ironman, you feel it a lot early game, where it's like if I don't know, Rack was a basic attack and I had some actual impactful abilities, this would feel way better. So it's something we definitely want to do. There is something to figure out, which is again, it's like the super high levels, they like having like the extra complexity. So we don't just want to rip that away from them by changing it. So it's not going to be as simple as just here's the basic attack. We'll need to figure out something for those guys as well. Try and make sure everyone's happy. But realistically, yes, I want to say we will have a basic attack for all the styles.
Nice. That's cool. That's good to know. That's really good to know. Some players are asking, can you share what you're potentially going to be working on during Game Jam for combat?
I genuinely don't know right this second.
Okay.
My mind's been going through like 10 different things. I've got some little bits I want to do, which have now escaped me. There's some non-combat bits I want to do. There's some combat bits I want to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I've interacted with. Again, on my group Iron Man, I've gone, this feels kind of janky. Let's fix that.
Right.
So a few little jobs. I was thinking about doing something with Livid Farm. That's not combat, but like making it so I don't only have to go and do the wandering trader or whatever his name is, wandering merchant, traveling merchant. Got there in the end, and actually making it like, okay, this is semi decent magic XP. This is semi decent farming XP, and I'm getting points. Maybe add some other neat stuff there, but that's probably going to be on the back burner until I figure out some combat stuff. Because it's a great chance to do some of the stuff that's been building up on my backlog of combat stuff I want to do, but not had time for.
Is there anything you could talk about on like the Grandmaster combat achievements? I know there's been a couple of times it's been mentioned.
Not really for me.
Okay.
I'm kind of on the side, just offering feedback and giving suggestions. It's kind of Ryan and Pigeon, boots on the ground on that one. So it might be worth doing a stream with them directly, and they can kind of go through everything. I think that's probably the best idea for that.
Yeah. So another combat, but Grandmaster combat.
Correct. Yeah. But yeah, on Game Jam, I am hoping to look at kind of some of the items that are more dead now, or losing value or lesser used, and seeing if we can improve those for players.
Yes, for sure. Don't worry, we will look into doing a stream with Mod Ryan and Pigeon for the combat achievements. But yeah, that sounds really exciting. That sounds really, really exciting. We can definitely go into that because we know y'all all like your combat, which is good. Right, I think we can get 2 more questions in before we have to sadly wrap up, I'm afraid, because we are already at 6 o'clock, which is crazy. So this has come up a few times. Any timeline on the bleed combat abilities rework?
Yeah, maybe that's on the Game Jam list as well, actually. We have these bigger things, which is like bleeds, that we kind of want more dedicated projects to deliver on. But the 2 weeks of Game Jam could be good for that as well. There's no like dedicated timeline right now. It's something we're trying to kind of lock these things down and go, cool, when can we deliver this stuff?
Right.
So we want to do it. It's just we have like combat mastery and stuff going on, so it's not like at the forefront. But we're all kind of desperate to get it done.
Yeah.
Because again, we're playing Group Iron Man. We're like, oh, bleeds suck here. We're all using magic or something. So yeah, it's something we're going to look to clean up.
Yeah, going for the chat, people are very they're like, yes, bleeds for Game Jam. Yes, do them. Cool, that's good. Oh, damn it, I lost the questions. So many questions keep coming in. Is there anything you'd like to plug, I guess, before we finish? Is there anything you'd like to share from before when we were preparing that you were like, oh, I kind of want to make sure?
Oh, I don't know. My mind's blank. If there's any other questions around the update, obviously feel free to drop them now or drop them in on Twitter.
I'd say let's drop them in. So we've got a thread over on Reddit at the moment, which has got the AMA. It will be under my name, so if you just search for me, just AMA, it should come up. So do drop any questions in there. Mod Sponge will do his absolute best to try and answer any questions he can, if he can. Also do post. I say let's just maybe stick to Reddit, just so that you're not being bombarded on both.
Yeah, that's
both
cool.
platforms.
Good idea.
So let's go to Reddit and see if you can do any other questions there.
There's a side point there, which is I'm engaging internally as well, but I'd like players to point out, especially for anyone that's playing Group Iron Man, I'd like to know the issues they've been having in the early to mid game. or things that are weird, or things that can be improved. As an example, there's some little stuff I've noticed, like I did Tree Gnome Village, and the reward was an amulet. The amulet doesn't do anything. It doesn't have any stats.
Right.
Whenever EOC happened however long ago, the stats were removed. So now it's like a pointless item. And there's stuff like that, which is just like little weird bits that wouldn't take long to fix. That I'd like to just like smooth out the mid game.
Awesome. Yeah,
Kind of
that'd be
get
good.
players' thoughts. Or maybe this skill super early game feels really bad.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I have to go to player and farm and clear out the muck heap for the first 17 levels. Maybe just like improve farming super early. Just kind of general stuff that we can kind of ram together and be like, cool, this is stuff players think would improve the early and mid game. That'd be really helpful.
For sure.
Because I'm sure a lot of players here like me were kind of just like locked into the end game, kind of forgetting about the beginning of the game, just where all you're seeing is the end game. But now going through Group Ironman, you kind of see more clearly the issues. It doesn't have to be combat as well.
But yeah, from the first
Sorry,
initial sort of spot, early dungeoneering apparently is quite bad. A lot of things just stop progress. Thanks to
there's
Alzheimer
some
on that one.
progress stoppers. Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for going through questions and joining me on stream. This has been insightful. Hopefully, you all found it very useful. Again, we will take this across to Reddit, where Mod Sponge will do his absolute best when he has time, because I know he's a very busy man.
Yeah, probably be more tomorrow than today.
Yeah. The thread is open, the thread is live.
To catch up on.
Yeah, the thread is open, the thread is live there. So do drop any questions in there, and he'll do his best to go through them and answer what he can. We will look into doing a Grandmaster stream for combat with Mod Ryan and Pigeon, was it? I believe.
Correct. Yep.
And we'll go into more details about those as well. But thank you all for joining. Mod Sponge, have you had a good time?
No, it's been awful.
It's been awful, right?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. It's been weird because normally I'm able to like read engaged chat, and I'll be like typing in chat, but like my internet's been so bad, I've just not been able to do it.
You've done great. You've done great. If
cool.
I was able to, if I had Hunter 87, I would be in your position and do this while you're going through chat. So you got a taste of what I go through. But yes, thank you so much. Thank you all of you for joining us today, this evening. I hope you all have a great rest of the evening or a good morning, wherever you are in the world. Catch us next week on Monday, where we will be doing a JMod versus player Castle War stream, a very special one, where it will be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing joining our Discord team, who are going to be playing versus the JMods. So do come and join us. Details are on our Discord there. But yes, thank you all again, and we shall see you very soon. We shall see you at the next stream. Have a good evening and goodbye.
Bye.